Hi, everybody. This is Carol Sherwood. Thank you for joining me for the Stephen Avery Back to the Beginning Mod Podcast, where the mod to the pod is a little music treat for you. So today's musical treat is honesty. You think? So the song is from one of our favorites, Billy Joel. Honesty is such a lonely word, 'cause everyone is so untrue. Honesty is hardly ever heard, and mostly what I need from you. You think that might apply to this case? Let's dig in. Today we're going to talk about the license plates and the RAV4. In the last about 8 to 10 weeks, there has been a snowball effect of information that has been found. Some of it by me, but actually, a really significant piece of information has been found by a fellow researcher that I like to say I'm friends with. So anyway, the woman is a hound dog, and she dug for information and found a golden nugget as big as a car. In this investigation, there is a document that actually is a trial exhibit. And I want you to know this. It's a trial exhibit because this is important. That means it's true and correct. Okay. Keep that in mind. So it's a confirmation letter from the Wisconsin Department of Motor Vehicles. I'm looking at pictures and thinking about this and all this stuff, and suddenly it dawns on me, because I've looked at this information so many times, the license plate has the tags on it, September 06. I remembered that DMV letter. And I remembered seeing that the car was registered in April. So when I found the letter, the DMV letter, and I saved a copy of it, I saw where it has the record. When you see it, it's like a certificate of, confirming the record. Just saying, we're confirming what you got on this system belongs to Teresa Halbach. And what I noticed was, because I specifically went back to look at this, is the first entry is her registration in April of 03. And it gives her name and all this jazz and her address, and there's 3 or 4 little blocks. And then the next entry is the plate renewal in September of 05. And there's nothing in between those two. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Something isn't right. My famous last words, something's wrong here. What really puzzled me was there's no other entries, which means there's no registration in 04 of April and no registration in 05 of April until September. And I'm thinking that's 2 registrations of license plates that are not there. So I decided to call the DMV. I thought, oh God, I hope they're not somebody that's been there like for 25 years, and knows all about this case, because I was afraid they might just tell me to, get lost. But I called the DMV. I'm glad I got the woman that I did, because she was a long-term employee there. So what I told her was, I said, I have a document from the court, the trial. And I said, it's an exhibit. And I said, there are 2 pages and there's a gap between this date and the next date. And I'm thinking I might be missing a page. And that's what I told her. I said, I just want to see if it just seems odd. I said, I just want to see if I am missing a page of information. I gave her the VIN number, the original VIN number. She looks it up. She said, and I said, red flag in my head. She said, well, I'm not seeing anything. Let me go to my other screen. And I said, now I have the information where the plates were re-registered in September for basically October 1 through 9/30 of the 2006. I said, so I've got that, and it's got a registration number on there. And she said, oh, okay. I said, now there's an R. I'm assuming the R means renewal. And she said, we don't use R's. I said, well, do you think you might have back then, since this was 0506? She said, nope. She said, and I could hear her flipping pages. She said, let me check. So she's flipping pages, because I can hear the pages flipping. And she says, no, she says, prior to 1980, Teresa hasn't even been born yet. Prior to 1980, there were a couple of codes that were used, letters, and one was an S and one was something else, but it was not R. I said, oh, well, I said, maybe it's a typo. I was just thinking at that point, I thought, I have no idea what is going on. So I said, well, could you look up this registration number? I said, just maybe, I said, it's got the same number of digits. It's just got that R in front of it, which I figured meant renewal. She said, well, give me the registration. So I gave her that registration that went with that entry that's in September down there. And she could not find that anywhere on her system. And I went, Then I went, another red flag. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. She goes, let me check this other screen. Let me go to my other system and check, since it's, that date or whatever. So she goes to whatever other screen she's going to that we would not have access to. And she's looking at it and she says, this was great. She says, well, that's odd. I said, oh, really? Like, she says, after 1031, she said, at some point after 1031, she said, the record's been purged. Eyebrows raising. My eyebrows are up here right now. I'm like, you mean like deleted? Does that mean deleted? And she's like, so I'm thinking, purged means deleted. I said, so you think I might be missing a page? She goes, no. She said, no, I have. I said, she said, I said, this is what I show. I show that first entry and I show that second one. And I said, I just thought it was weird that I didn't see anything in between. And she said, no, she said, it's been purged. So however she was able to recognize that, whether it was coding or something in her system versus it just being gone, she knew the record had been purged. I'm just telling you, in my best I Love Lucy look. Have you ever seen that picture of Lucille Ball when she was I Love Lucy and she opens her eyes real big and then she's looking like sideways? That was my look. Then I'm back to, what does that mean? Okay, so I'm looking at it thinking, why would you purge the record? What would be the purpose of purging the record? Sure, I still believe there's two Ravs, but what does that even mean? All right, so let's go take another step forward. So I call my buddy, researcher, we're going to call her Drusilla, and I said, have I got news for you, Drew? And I sent her that report and that information. And I said, I don't know what to think about that. I said, you and I both know that you don't get to skate by without registering your car for 2 years. She's in her car a lot. One thing that we learn about Teresa Halbach, she's very organized. Her friends, her family, one thing that they all said without hesitation is she's organized. Okay. You can think what you want, but I do not believe that Teresa let her registration of her license plate lapse. Now, let me tell you this. While all this is going on, I get my little reminder registration in the mail to come renew my plates by X date when they expire. And the day I got that in the mail, I went, bam. Teresa would get letters just like I do, just like you do. Some places send postcards. Some places send a letter. She'd have gotten her renewal notice. Guess what we don't have? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It does somewhere. But in the trial and in the trial documents, that's not part of it. Because guess what? The license plate would be on there because that's what you're renewing at that point. Your VIN number was registered when you bought the car. So now it's about your license plates getting renewed every year. So all of a sudden I'm thinking, immediately at that time, several weeks ago, I'm thinking, those aren't her plates. Those aren't her plates. I just got tuned out by 4 or 5 people. I could feel the heat when they left. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, Linda. I have no other thought, but the license plates don't belong to her, because why would they go back to the VIN? Go back to the fact that we never see a clear VIN. We never see an actual legitimate clear VIN to tell us that's her vehicle. Now, WISDOT, the DMV department, is telling me the record has been, those records have been purged, deleted, and so I'm just thinking, I don't know why. I don't know why those aren't hers, but I can't help but think those aren't her plates. There's no renewal. We don't see a renewal letter. We don't see a renewal notice. Isn't that kind of strange? I mean, I think it's kind of odd. I think it's more than odd, but it's odd. So let's keep going because it gets better. So my buddy Drew gets on and is doing her digging. The woman is a hound dog, and she goes to town. And guess what she calls me? She calls me and she goes, "You are not going to believe what I found." And I went, "What? What? What?" I mean, I'm like, at this time, she and I both need medication. This case is driving me to medication. So anyway, good thing I don't drink. She says, again, this is one of those pieces of information that she and I have had this happen several times now. We weren't specifically looking for something suspicious, we decided. We were looking and something came back at us. And it's like, whoa, what's that? Wow, I, I would have never thought to look for that. That's how it happens. So here's what happened. She's on the DMV site. You can go get on it. You can go get on it and see it for yourself. And then, yes, we cross-referenced it to be sure that we were correct. So, in the year of 2000, I hope you've got popcorn and your favorite beverage and a comfy chair because this is really good. In the year of 2000, the state of Wisconsin changed the license plate design. It's on the DMV site. And if you go look at the Wisconsin Historical Society, they dedicate a whole section to the evolution of the license plates in Wisconsin. Thank you, Jesus. Because let me tell you, that is fabulous information. They changed the design in the year of 2000. The plates that you see in that picture are SWH 582. It's got a little blue line and a green line, sailboat stuff up there. But there's two colored lines. The letters are red, and it's SWH 582. In the year of 2000, the design changed in this way. They got rid of the green line, kept the blue one, and they changed the lettering to black. Do the math. Teresa bought the car in 2003 from a dealership. 3 years after the plate design changed, and she buys the vehicle through Lemieux Toyota, and they send the paperwork into the state of Wisconsin so they can turn around and issue her a set of plates. They would have issued her a brand new design set of plates.